Hi there, thanks for checking out our repair channel. This is just going to be kind of an overview of this unit and maybe a peek on the inside and a testing and all that kind of fun stuff of this thing. This is an old unit. It's probably from the 1970s, maybe late 60s, mid 70s, in that range. This is called a Bulldozer supercharger. It's a model number 4309A. It's a solid state unit that they used to make. Bulldozer was its own brand at one time. They made a few models under the Bulldozer name, and then eventually back in the day, Zariba and those guys bought a lot of the smaller companies out. All the solid state ones that have been around for decades. The weed chopper ones, they bought a lot of those little companies out. And then back in the 90s, 80s and 90s probably, they kept the Bulldozer name around for a little while just because people had name recognition with the Bulldozer brand back then. And so there was Zariba and those guys were taking their models of the Zariba ones and then slapping the Bulldozer name on, just so people, when they had an old unit go bad, they'd go into the farm store. Oh, they'd say, oh, I got a Bulldozer, oh, let's buy that one. So then they would eventually, their hope was that they would buy the Bulldozer brand name, unit with just the name on it. That way they could, get another customer under the belt. I don't think Bulldozer, its name itself, is around anymore. I think Zariba finally got rid of that stuff and didn't stop naming their stuff under the old Hold'em and International and Bulldozer and that stuff. And now they just got Blitzer and Red Snapper and Shock and Zariba, American Farm Works, all that stuff is now they're under that umbrella. But nowadays, hopefully you'll like this video. If you've got an old Bulldozer unit like this one, don't throw it away yet. They're good units when they work. They're usually not terribly expensive to repair. Most times, about 90% of the time, they're not, unless they're just totally trashed inside. But a lot of these you'd have to send them here to us to work on. There's just certain things in there. If you don't know what it is, you got to get the right part for it, for the circuit board thing that's inside there, because you can't get any parts, whole parts anymore. They don't make them. They made them in 30 years, so you have to rebuild the parts that are in there. What this unit was doing, it would come on. This light would come on. This is your power light. Tells you, hey, the power's on. This is your fence okay light. So if this light's flashing when hooked up to the fence and ground, okay, this light's flashing, I'm good to go. This light's not flashing, I got a short somewhere. We replaced the bulb in this one. It was burned out, but even before that, we were getting like 1,000 volts or a 0.5, between 0.5 and 1 kV at the terminals over here. So I opened it up, and I started dicking around with it, and I tested the transformer on the output side with it disconnected, thinking, well, maybe there's something with the bulb or these resistors are shorted. I didn't know. So I disconnected it right here and right here. That way there's no stress from anything on the output side, and it didn't change. It was still 1 or 0.9 or 0.6 or whatever it was getting. So then I knew, okay, transformer's bad. Now, they don't make a transformer for it anymore, but we had one here still on hand. And we have sent these off to places, and they have rewound transformers for us. So we have had that happen a few times. And we've rebuilt boards for these things. Like you can see, that a lot of the parts on there are old style through-hole parts. So as long as you know what part is bad on the board, and you know how to read it and test it, you can fix these boards inside here. You just got to know what you're testing and all that kind of fun stuff. This has a little potentiometer rheostat thing here that you can adjust. I think it adjusts the speed of the unit, how fast or slow it pulses. Right now it's the standard pulse, like every second and a half, in that range. But as you can see, there's not much to it. It's a circuit board, all the stuff on it, and a transformer, and that's it. What's nice about these solid state units is when they work, man, they work really, really well. They throw a huge, nice, bright spark from it. It'll get the attention to about anything that touches it. But they don't have the reserve power to fight through a lot of shorts. So if you put much load on it, it just about kills the thing. Just drags it way down to where it can't really operate. Well, let's get into this thing. I'll test it for you. I'll adjust this thing just to see if that's what it does on the speed of the pulse. But if you've got one of these things, you know, we'd be happy to look at it for you. You can find out a little bit more about us at fencerfixer.com. That's Fencer and Fixer with an F as in Frank. And, you know, we'll give you free quotes and a 1.5 year warranty on anything that we work on repair-wise. Lightning damage is included. So this is all it needed was just a transformer replacing it. And we got, so there's a 1.5 year warranty on the transformer. And lightning damage part. So if 6 months from now the transformer gets blown up, goes bad for whatever, I'll replace the transformer at no charge for somebody, and do the whole work all over again at no charge. All right, so please subscribe to our channel and hit the thumbs up button. So I'm going to power this thing up. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to flip it over to the front, because I gotta be a little careful. These solid state units can get a little hairy when touching them when they're on. Sometimes you can get everything's pretty much sealed up pretty darn good, so it should not shock me when I'm touching the unit. I've got it I got everything, all the wires away from everything, but I wanted to show you the lights. See, now the light's flashing again. It wasn't flashing before. It was just it was black. It was burned out. So we replaced that bulb, and now it's working again. Okay, so just making sure. And the clicking sounds coming from the transformer. That's the laminations inside there moving, or, you know, discharging. I'm going to take a screwdriver, untouch the ground side, and get real close to the hot side. A longer screwdriver. Same length. Let's see if we can do this. So, you know, like I said, it's not a hard hitting unit. I mean, it hits pretty hard, but you know, it's not like those. It's not like it's a 20 joule unit. You know, these things really weren't rated by joules really back in the day, because they weren't really set up that same way as the low impedance stuff is. But it's probably set up by mileage or something. But it just says nope, it doesn't even say that. But I don't know how these things were really rated back in the day. They don't really give you a joules. They don't give you any kind of mileage, acreage, or anything that it covers. So it's hard to tell. But, you know, so it's hard to tell what you can compare this thing to nowadays, because they don't make anything like this anymore. Let's turn this little rheostat here and see if it makes it fast or slow. I'm turning to the right. Let's see, that sped it up. That slowed it down, so we'll go back to here again. I'll leave it right there. That's a nice steady pulse, not too fast, not too slow. Pretty cool stuff. I like these old units. You know, don't get too many of them in for repair, but they do come in from time to time. You know, so but we're going to put this unit back together. Like I said, it was held together rivets, but we're going to put some screws in it this go around. To keep it together. That way, if you ever have to take it apart again, it's a lot easier to get apart. But, you know, until we do another video of how to fix something, or how something works, or how to test something, you know, we'll put out another video one of these days. But, you know, hopefully you like the video, subscribe to us, you know, visit our website, check out what we do. You know, we're just a mom and pop shop, works on this stuff. We don't, you know, we're not a big, you know, chain of stores or a big chain of repair places. We're just an individual mom pop shop. So, but you know, hopefully you like it. And if you've got one of these old units, don't throw it out. Just box it up, send it here. Let us work on it for you. But until we do another video, we will see you later.